Ho, 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 ho.
That was pretty good, Coach.
I just
Oh,
love it.
I love it. I love it so much. Except people are logging on during that time, and I almost
I
kind
know.
of feel like we need to do it again. I just kind of feel
mean,
like
do it.
All
Do
right,
it.
all right. Let's do it. Let's do it again.
Ho, 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 ho.
Technically, we only get to play it 4 times. So, from now until Christmas.
gotta
So I'm
do
not
it.
even sorry. I'm not even sorry about it.
I worked hard on that.
That's great. That is great. I love it.
Oh man.
Well, there's a couple things you'll notice about our set today. Number one, I'm sporting a dad sweatshirt. We are in the middle of a hot mess in our house. So I'm just lucky to be in one piece today.
I'll
We've got the
support the
dogs.
Grinch.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I am supporting my truck with no wheels on it. Yeah, so we're having a remodeling situation happening at the house, and so we got the contractor upstairs. If you hear anything weird, if somebody falls through the ceiling, anything could happen. But I'm sporting the dad sweatshirt because that's all I could find this morning.
Hey, no judgment. None.
Oh,
And
I'm
if you
excited.
hear that on my end, then you might want to call the police.
I'm super excited about it because we have been talking and talking and talking about trying to find the right contractor and trying to find the right timing. And apparently the timing is just not going to work because we're just going to give passes to the new bathtub for Christmas this year. Because I did put up my little tiny tree, and I think that may be all we get because in our living room, we sit between a clawfoot bathtub and a toilet and a shower. And that's all I see every morning.
It happens. I've been there, done that. We've been in that season, and it's a good season to be in, but it gives you a little bit heart pitter patters.
I know. Well, I told our contractor this morning, I said, "Aren't you glad I'm not rich?" Because I said I would feel sorry for you if you had to be really picky and have not dust everywhere. And I said, here it doesn't matter. It's just we'll clean it all up afterwards.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
Hey,
I couldn't find my makeup this morning. Couldn't find it. I have no idea where it is. So you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
Look
this
beautiful.
morning.
It's fine. You look beautiful in your dad shirt.
In my dad shirt.
But for everybody out there,
no matter how much time passes, I will always be your financial burden. It is kind of cute sweatshirt.
It is. Is that Sarah's shirt?
Yeah,
or is that for your dad?
No, it's Sarah's.
Our dad.
Did you see Dad's? Did you see Dad's sweatshirt? I got him for Christmas.
I did. I think you sent a picture.
Oh, I did. Yeah. He identifies as a conspiracy theorist. His pronouns are "I told you so."
That was fun. So Thanksgiving. Let's bring in Thanksgiving because we just celebrated that. And we had a great time with family. Maybe some of you guys didn't, and I'm sorry if that's your case. But we had a great time at our Thanksgiving. And we basically had Dad cornered at the end of the table, and we were talking about all the conspiracy theories and just had a blast. It was partially political, but partially not, and yeah,
It was
great.
it was safe political
It
because
was
we
a
were
safe.
able to laugh. We were able
It
to just laugh
Yeah,
at him.
nobody's feels got hurt
No,
that we know of.
no, I don't think so. I think
No,
everybody came out safe and sound under that.
Hey, when you hop on, would you, like, follow, and share for us?
Yeah.
We're gonna start this new year off with a bang,
Mhm.
and we have this last month or no, we're gonna start it off with a bang and end it with a bang, so that
Yeah,
we have one more
totally.
month to end it with a bang. And we would love to have new followers for this upcoming year. So if you know anybody that would love to
Yeah,
hear about what we're going to talk about today,
yeah.
which is we're talking about
Well, a lot of people were discovering had a really frustrating season of trying to stay on plan at Thanksgiving, and many people fell off onto their nose. And so we're going to talk about
yeah. Ah,
how to get back on plan,
yep,
and why you should want to.
right.
Let's put out this really crappy attitude. Let's just put that out right away. That well, it's the holiday season. I screwed up at Thanksgiving. It happens anyway. Everybody gains weight over the holidays. And so I might as well just enjoy from now until January 1st. And January 1st, I promised myself. First of all, how did it work for you last January 1st? Now, my year clients, I choose five people to work with one on one for a whole year. I choose five. And this year I had 3 out of the 5 are nearing 100 pounds lost.
That's amazing.
So there are some people who take January 1st seriously, but
Absolutely.
how are you doing on your January
Yeah.
1st commitment?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, if we, prepared you for Thanksgiving and you still fell on your nose,
Mhm.
I mean, if you still have the same mindset, what's going to make
Yeah.
December any different? And then if
Yeah.
December's that way and history
Mhm.
repeats itself
It
often
does. Yeah.
with no change.
Yeah.
So,
By the
with that
habits that you
change
build.
in your mindset,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The habits that you
So
build
let's
now are
talk
going to
about it.
going to be what happens January 1st. So you don't have to take the everybody gains weight over the holidays and I screwed up on Thanksgiving. You and I lost 20 pounds from Thanksgiving to January 1st
Yeah, at
on
least.
our
Mhm,
journey.
mhm,
So who
yeah.
cares if you screwed up on Thanksgiving?
And I made it through Thanksgiving Day this year with
Uh huh.
no dairy.
No
I
dairy.
am day 100 today.
That
Day
is
100
awesome.
with no dairy.
That's huge. That's
Um,
almost bigger than a sugar
it's let me
sugar
tell
challenge.
you, I feel like dairy alone is when we talk about addiction, like people have an addiction to dairy.
Mm-hmm.
They say the words, "Oh, I couldn't give that up." I don't.
Yeah.
I think that's my last
Yeah.
straw. If anything, I'm like, well, if it's gonna kill you, or if it's keeping your autoimmune disease
Right.
alive and kicking, then
Yeah. Do you want to live that
really,
way?
I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't. I was embarrassed.
You were miserable this summer. I remember that. You were like in
It's
tears of
terrible.
not wanting to go out, you know? And
Yeah, I couldn't wear the color black, even though black's not a
mm,
color. Like I couldn't wear the like my
yeah,
I couldn't wear that because it was
yeah. So
it
you were
was so
pretty
defeating.
desperate. You were
Mhm.
pretty desperate, and
Yeah.
you had a situation where you had to change your autoimmune condition. And let's
Yes.
just speak into that a minute because we have a
Yeah.
lot of people who are working on chronic illness, chronic
Yeah.
disease. They
Yeah.
want to reverse a disease that they have, and they keep cheating. You can't do that. When you
No.
have a weight situation. So when you are frustrated with your weight and you want to lose weight, there are times that you can just loosen up just a little bit. We call it those diet pauses. It's normal and natural. You just ease up on the accelerator and if you have a bad day, you have a bad day. It's math. When you are dealing with a chronic disease and you want to reverse it and you want to get rid of your medication, there are no cheat days for you.
Right.
Period. There's no
Period.
cheat days. What are we doing? What are we doing, y'all? You can't have a cheat day when you want to reverse diabetes.
Yeah.
When you want to reverse PCOS, when you're struggling with infertility, there are no cheat days. You're changing your chemistry in your body. You're changing that from the inside
Right.
out. Stop cheating.
Right.
That was my message.
And I also learned, like, I was listening to a carnivore podcast when I was Christmas shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how he had like full-fledged like psoriasis all over his body, and
Mm-hmm.
he spent hundreds and thousands of dollars through treatment, and through medications, through soaps, through whatever, just to get rid of it. And he was enlightened by a podcast by somebody that was talking about how psoriasis can be taken care of and managed through the carnivore diet. Now, I think that initially, like, it comes down to the dairy free because usually with psoriasis, it's either eggs or dairy.
Yeah.
I have not tried the eggs yet. Not really willing to give that one up yet. Yet.
Well, because it's working for you.
Because it's working for me.
So you have your answer.
It's true. And some people, it might just be even like store-bought eggs. Who knows what they've done to that? But I digress. Basically, he was talking about, will I ever be able to eat dairy again? And the answer is no.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can if you want it to come back.
Right.
And it might be more in moderation. Like if you bring a little bit back one day, I don't know. It's not going to put it on full-fledged, but
I got into a Twitter war, X war, from somebody who wanted to prove diet and lifestyle wrong. They were pro pharma. They're like, you know what? Carnivore doesn't reverse diseases. And so I got into a little war with her because she was pro, pharma, of course, reverses diseases, but carnivore, if you go back to your old way of living, it's coming back. And I just said, you just proved my point. I said, I lost 130 pounds, reversed my chronic diseases, and I've kept it off for 8 years. She said, you proved my point, because if you go back to eating your old way again, it's coming back. So you didn't heal anything. And I said, listen, Linda, have we thought about the thought that maybe the things that I'd removed from my lifestyle are causing the disease? I removed it, of course, if I go back and eat the way I used to. That's why it's called a lifestyle. We were both
why would
proving each
anybody get
other's
on a
point.
medication? Why would anybody go into a medication? I mean, they'd have to expect to be on it for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So
if you got off of that and ate the way that you ate, you would.
Yeah, of course. If we went back to our old lifestyle, I would gain 130 pounds back. 100%.
Easy.
Within 3
especially
months.
During the holidays.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why we call it a lifestyle. And that's why I don't care how much weight you lose. I don't care how quick you lose it. I don't care. I don't give a rat's backside about, I lost 130 pounds on a GLP-1. I don't care. Right. What I do care about is what's going to happen 5 years. If you are on a GLP-1, however you want, if you are on a starvation diet and you can keep it off post medication, post product for 5 years, I am cheering for you. That's great. But the reality is we know that doesn't happen. Right. And the weight, you're either choosing a medication for life or a product for life, and you better budget that in for the rest of your life. Or
for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
you can empower yourself. Empower yourself.
And do it yourself.
And control what goes into your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of all this conversation that we're having, we had a little bit of this conversation at our group session yesterday afternoon.
Yes, we did.
And so I thought it'd be neat to kind of, help the audience understand like what our group sessions kind of look like every now and again. And speaking of that, is we do, like last week, you kind of gave a sneak preview.
Well, I didn't check with my boss. I did not check with my boss.
But starting now, we have a buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
Right? And the buy one, get one free, because I don't like the BOGOs where you buy one, get one half off. No, this is a buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
So you buy a month of group and you get a experience free, like a group experience free.
Your second month is free.
Yeah. So, and that to me, like ever since we started group, and maybe you, I know you agree with me, has been a game changer for our program in general, our community, our unity, our accountability. It is gold. It is basically what our group is. And being able to go somewhere when you are in that desperation mode, when you are at a loss, being able just to put it to group and have that support from people My
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, and I also, with that deal, I made an executive decision that
Oh, just
those
now?
people before January who enroll, no, I've had this in
Oh,
my back
oh,
pocket.
okay. Oh,
Those people who enroll, because sometimes when you just jump into group and you get in with these people and you're like, well, what are they doing lifestyle wise? Because the
uh,
group session it does not include one-on-one with the coach. So you got to
right.
know how to live. Like, what are you
Yes.
people doing to lose weight? So if you enroll before January, I'm going to include our keto kickstart, so you know exactly how to live, and the keto
That's
Bible,
awesome.
which is $99 right there.
That's a
Yeah,
man.
they're going to get it for free just so that they
What?
know how to live when they come into weight loss group. So otherwise, they're like,
That's
"Hey,
amazing.
are we eating plant-based? What are we doing in here?" You'll know what we're doing and you'll know how to do it.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
wow.
buy one get one free and you get a free keto Bible when you join.
That's amazing. That's
So,
it. That is a deal.
yeah, if that's you and you want in, please make sure you message us.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
Wow.
So, group. So, do you want to coach me or am I coaching you?
Well, here's a little snippet of let's explain what we do. Like
Mhm.
we meet Mondays every other Monday, like one at 12 o'clock, another at 8 o'clock, right?
Mhm.
So that is what we typically that's when we meet. Um Doing so, we like
Mhm.
to have check-in, right?
Yes.
We want to be able to check in with our people to see, "Hey, how you doing?" Like,
Mhm.
and bringing questions, bringing comments, bringing stories to the group
Mhm.
to be able to share with each other and
Yeah.
have that support.
Struggles.
Then there's times where we have teachable moments,
Mhm.
and we like to talk about the tools that we have at our
Right.
hands in our hands to be able to help our lifestyles, our situations that are going on individually. So we like to coach and I like to then um, have teachable
Mhm.
Mondays, and I think yesterday's was a teachable
Yeah.
Monday, right?
Yeah.
So
It was. We have, what are your struggles? Where did you struggle this Thanksgiving? And some people are brand new into the lifestyle and
mhm,
this was their first Thanksgiving. And then you were joined by people who've been in the program 2 years and that knowledge and it's much more than Coach Darcy and I. It is everybody who said, "Hey, when I was in this situation, here's what I did." And Coach Darcy and I learn every single week. And so we had some struggles this week. We had some
yeah,
newbies and they were like, "Man, I didn't want to offend somebody. It was a brand new, family situation. I didn't want to offend somebody." And so, yeah, I ended up falling off the wagon on Thanksgiving, and then the cravings kicked in. And then
yeah.
I couldn't put down even the keto sweets. And then it's just a big, big spiral when you fall off the wagon.
And
So,
those are totally real. I mean,
oh
they're
yeah.
even real, 7, 5 years later. Those
Yeah,
those
it's
things are
science.
are real for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. When you
Yep.
when you disconnect the neurons in your brain from being a sugar addict, which everybody struggles with. I mean, it's
Mhm.
it's just it's in our food system. It was the Dorito effect, right? It's
Yeah.
been planned that way. So you don't even have to struggle with an official food addiction for you to feel the connection of those neurotransmitters in your brain that connect you to the dopamine, connect you to the
Yeah.
serotonin, that connect you to the oxytocin, all of those things. That's just science, right? So when you have unhooked those connectors for a while, you don't have the cravings that
Yeah.
normal, that you do when you eat sugar. When you reconnect them, your brain is like, I remember when we partied in your brain and we just had a blast. And then you wake them up and then
Yeah.
so it's just science. It's natural science. And so it's
Right.
really, really important to have a plan together when you face those.
So, do you think just going through a couple of our tools today, we won't go through everything that we went because
Can't give
I mean,
away the
that's our
farm.
group. We can't
Yeah.
give away the farm,
No,
no.
there's secrets. What
So,
happens in group stays in group.
exactly. I mean, unless we do a podcast about it.
So we podcast about it.
No, I think a good first one is, offering group support and going to group,
Mhm, mhm,
and how to get back on plan. So
mhm.
when you have fallen off, I don't know why do we say we fall off? I still struggle with that phrase of falling off the wagon. Is that because of Oregon Trail?
Probably. Well,
So if you fell out of the Oregon Trail
yeah.
wagon and
Oof.
you missed the bus because you got distracted by
Mhm.
the One Bites, by the pumpkin pies, by Aunt Nancy's pumpkin
Mhm.
cheesecake swirl, what
Mhm.
have you, um, what is the first thing that you do after the holiday, after you've done that?
Mhm.
Do you
I'll
go
tell you
hide?
what. Yeah, there we go. That's what most people do. Most people hide
Oh,
in shame.
okay.
And half of our group didn't come to group on Monday,
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
you hide in shame and you're like, "Well, I screwed up, so I might as well just not even go."
right.
And that is the biggest mistake you can make.
The other one is,
Biggest.
not tracking it. That
Yeah,
is hiding from yourself. That's
right.
not necessarily hiding from somebody that's looking at it, but if you're, like, not in a
Mhm.
program and you're tracking your stuff
Mhm.
and you just are not tracking it,
Mhm.
you're hiding from yourself, like, "Oh, it
Right.
never happened. This never
Yeah.
happened. I feel
Never happened.
miserable. This
If
never
it's not in the
happened."
tracker, it didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I put on 3 pounds. I'm not sure why I feel bloated today. I just can't figure it out
I
for the life
can't
of me.
don't know what happened yesterday. I kinda blocked out after the 5 pounds of cookies.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
No, and
was
that
like,
truly happens. That truly happens. People
yeah,
get overwhelmed and they just the dopamine just kind of envelops them and they're like they're in a food coma,
yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah.
But so
Biggest
so
mistake you can make.
What
Biggest.
then do they do then? Instead of going and hide, how do they get out of the
Mhm.
cycle that we've been brainwashed over the years to do
Mhm.
of the shame,
Mhm.
the blackouts, the,
Mhm.
hiding? Like, what do they
Yeah.
do?
Well, I think that for our clients, the safest and most effective thing they can do is come to group and say, "Listen, this is what happened to me." And you should see the faces of people who were in the group who are like, "Oh my gosh, that happened to me too." So, number 1, coming and finding that you're not alone, but then not being satisfied to stay there. Because a lot of people will come to group and they'll all pat each other on the back for saying, "Oh, me too, me too, me too." But then we don't change. And
Right,
so it's having the courage to speak truth into your sister's life and say, "Hey, we can't stay here. And here's how we get out of this mess."
right.
Um, mhm,
It's giving positive reinforcement, but in a
mhm,
different way than
mhm.
what you think. Like, there's a
Yeah.
point where we like to give ourselves grace when we mess up. Like, "Oh, I messed up,
Mhm,
I'm not gonna shame myself. I'm not gonna feel terrible." And I feel like there's a good balance
mhm.
between the 2 of, the positive reinforcement of being able to say, "Hey, we all make mistakes."
Yeah.
But then the other end of it is getting rid of the excuse then and
Mhm.
not doing it again.
How are you
Like,
not going to do it
having
again?
that focus of
Yeah.
this is what put me in this situation, and now I'm going to be proactive in preventing that. So
Right.
the positive reinforcement with going to group is not
Mhm,
to get a pat on the back. "Oh, I messed up too. It's okay. Get back on the wagon. You can do it." Those are some great words to a certain
mhm.
extent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And that's something that we wrestle with as coaches. We have got to find every time I go into a session, I have got to find that line of, empowering them versus patting them on the back. And
Yeah.
that is something that is very difficult because words can hurt and, advice can hurt sometimes, but then also the lack of words can hurt. And I think we live in a culture right now from the church all the way up to the White House of we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and we don't
Right.
want to say we it's this woke culture, and so that's something that you and I constantly fight as coaches is when do we say the tough things, when do we give a hug,
Right.
and I would like to be liked as a coach, but sometimes being liked as a coach makes me a really bad coach. And so we got to find that boundary. And I think that's the
Yeah.
really the big benefit of group is that you and I are able to use our tools in there because there's a lot of buffers in there of other people who have gone through that who said, "Yeah, I agree with coach, but here's what I did. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry you went through this." And so we've got kind of the truth and grace in group that has
Yeah.
been our success.
And then the
Um,
same breath, like, knowing when to speak into the client, um, that is
mhm.
super important for coaching purposes as
Right.
our jobs, so that, if we don't lean into them, if we
Mhm.
don't give them the truth serum, if we
Yeah.
don't give them a different viewpoint of it, then I feel like we are a failure as a
We're
coach
cheating 'em.
because we're cheating them
Mhm.
because we're not giving them the things that other people are also not giving them. And
Right.
that's why they're stuck into the
Right.
same cycle, right?
Right.
So it's important as coaches to be able to
Mhm.
not necessarily be liked
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. It's hard. It's really,
Yeah.
really hard because I will go into a session, I'll be like, "Oh gosh, I know I've gotta say some tough things today." And I'll dread it. And at the end of the day, we make sure before we hang up that phone that that client gets a big hug, and gives
Mhm.
a dose of hope. You've got to have hope along with truth.
Yeah.
And if we don't do that, that's when we get a frustrated client. That's when we became frustrated because there was times that you
Yeah.
and I beat up on ourselves worse than anybody, and that's typically what happens is the client beats up on themselves more than the coach does. So it's a good working relationship. And that's where group just kind of smooths out the one-on-ones. One-on-one is hugely successful because we put our plan together, we put our work plan, we put our blueprint together, and then we come to group and say, okay, how does this work in the real world? And so
Yeah.
some of the
Yep.
struggles that we heard in group this week were number one, probably I would say the top struggle of everybody is people's feelings. And I didn't realize, I don't realize until the holiday season how much we are into people pleasing and that we don't want to be not liked at Christmas or holidays. And so that's
Right.
probably the top issue that we have. Hey, Aunt Susie made this and she doesn't see me but once a year and she made this just for me. Or I went over to a family member's house and there are new people there. I didn't want to offend. That's the big one is I don't want to offend people. It blows my mind that food is so powerful
Yeah.
that we will eat something that's killing us because we don't want to offend somebody. But it's reality.
Allergic or
Totally real.
not,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah. And my encouragement is what if you had a peanut allergy and that peanut would actually kill you?
Right.
Would you still
Right.
eat it because you might offend them?
Listen, I went to a restaurant the other day.
Mhm.
I've never actually used this until I did because
Uh-huh.
it legitimately does not set well with me, dairy.
Yeah.
I know that I had I got myself a steak.
Mhm.
And then on the side, like, you get a side, and I usually either get a side and give it to Mark or this last one was zucchini, so I know zucchini was a thing I was gonna have this week, and then
Uh-huh.
now I'm going back full-fledged, like, carnivore, but
Uh-huh.
that's a side note. I know that they
Yeah.
put a little bit of Parmesan cheese to top it off,
Mhm.
so I was like, "Can you make sure that you cook this in dairy and then" or not dairy, in butter and skip the dairy because I said, "I'm allergic to it." And he's like, "Oh, all right. Well, I will make sure." Like, so it got his
Uh-huh.
attention, and then Mark
Yeah.
decided to like, "Yeah, she'll die, and then your hands, her blood will be on your hands." Kind of. He took it a little bit farther,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
just Mark.
Right.
But just using those words got people's
Mhm.
attention. Like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I don't want to be the cause of a
Right.
flare up or
Right.
something to cause you issues
Right.
on your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So using that term was super
Mhm.
beneficial in that
Yeah.
moment. So
Yeah. And in fact, for me, I'm a food addict. So for me, when I put those things in my mouth, it will kill me.
yeah,
Um, you know, not overnight, but it will kill me. I was on the path to death when I was
yeah,
270 pounds and I was addicted to food. And so for me, it is a poison. That is the number one tool that I use in my toolbox is if I eat this, it will kill me. I exaggerate the situation in my life so that if I look at that donut, I don't see donuts the same way I did when I first gave them up. I grieved over the time that I had to give them up and I had to give sugar up. I don't look at it the same anymore. I look at it as literally poisonous.
yeah,
That's the way I had to do it. That's the way I had to heal. That's the way I had to do things in my life so that I would never go back on it again. When we look at it as an option, as we look at that donut as that is a choice that I'm making, I'm going to choose not to do it. At one time, you're going to eat that donut. But when you look at that donut as one big pill of a poison, you're not going to eat that. So you've got to see your
Right.
sickness, you've got to see your food addiction. And I think this can also apply to people who don't struggle with food addiction. Um, if you look at it as, I don't want it to touch my lips, it is poison, you can't unsee that. And so for me, that was my freedom out, is I don't even look at it. So it doesn't even look delicious to me anymore. It doesn't even appeal to me anymore.
Right.
So sometimes you have to take that route. You
Right.
have to take
I
that really
think you have
aggressive
to.
route.
You got to see have a good positive self-worth viewpoint of
Mhm.
yourself to be able to be like, yeah, I'm going to
Mhm.
see it as that extreme.
Mhm. Right.
I'm going to see myself as worth this lifestyle
Mhm.
and this change and
Right.
this reaction to the mindset of how you just did with the donut, like
Yeah.
changing it into something extreme that's going to shave, because it will, like you said, it will
Yeah.
shave years off of your life.
Yeah.
Towards the end, maybe not be right now, but it
Mhm.
is at the end. um,
Well, look at
but
what it does to cancer. Just look at a PET
right,
scan.
right,
That was an unseeable moment for me, because I'm like, if I am feeding cancer, and we see the proof on PET scans, we see what happens. I am killing myself if I
yeah.
eat this. I'm feeding cancer. And so that was one of those light bulb moments for me of, I don't even want to pick it up now. Do I want it? Would it taste good? Absolutely it would.
Right.
But I don't want to feed cancer.
Should we talk about the things? Anything else on the preventative side, or not the preventative side, but
Well,
the
we talked about the pressure, the social pressure. What are some more
Mhm.
of the pressures that we heard in group this week? You got the social pressures of, this is why I messed up. Are there any other pressures that we see our clients doing, or that happened this weekend or
Well,
this
there's
last week?
traditional
Hmm.
pressures,
Yeah.
especially in Christmas time when, we always, I'm not saying this is a situation where I see families,
Hmm.
always having a gathering a week before Christmas where we just, make gingerbread houses and cookies, and we
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
binge watch Christmas movies, and we have hot chocolate bar,
Hmm.
and it all revolves around baking
Hmm.
and the traditions that we've built around Christmas
Yeah.
that makes it magical. So when somebody has this mindset and they start to think, "Oh, I've changed my lifestyle," that means that I
Hmm.
don't get to enjoy that with people.
Hmm.
For first of all, like that's usually the initial realization that people have, like, "Oh, now I don't get to enjoy this
Right.
because it's going to be different."
Yeah.
And we
Kind
were
of
just
the
talking.
martyr syndrome a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah. But we were just talking on the phone about an hour ago, and it was like what I did with my boys with Christmas traditions. I didn't change anything for them per
Hmm.
se, but I changed the way I made my own. So when
Hmm.
they had hot chocolate, I'd
Yeah.
make my own hot chocolate.
Yeah.
That was approved,
Right.
when they would have their cookies, I would make my keto cookies, and then
Hmm.
I'd, like, say, "Hey, try my keto cookies," and they
Hmm.
would try it, and they're like, "Oh, that's not bad," but, they don't like the word keto apparently. I don't
Hmm.
know why.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and
it's
that's another thing we tell our clients, do not say the word keto.
don't,
Keto is whole
because
food.
it is whole foods, it's just made differently. You
Mhm.
gotta put a little bit more effort into it, uh, because it's not maybe coming out of a Toll's cookie
Yeah.
packet. You might have to
Yep.
make something from scratch, but if you really
Yep.
wanted it, if you really wanted to change a tradition, but also yet keeping it the same,
Mhm.
you'll do it.
You'll do it. We call it being a keto chameleon. And I really recommend, if you're going on this journey, do not call it keto. The only
Right.
thing that I do that I could possibly think of letting people know, hey, this is different, is the sugar-free side of because some people are sensitive to certain sweeteners and they need to
Mhm.
know, okay, this is made with erythritol, or this is made with monk fruit, whatever. I tell
Yeah.
them that. If I have a keto dish, my keto mac and cheese that I made, it's not keto. It's made with cream cheese, um,
Yeah.
cream, all of the real foods. So there's nothing keto about it.
Right.
Same with
Right.
carnivore. It's
Right.
meat. It's
Yes.
meat,
This
right?
is what people eat. This is normal.
What does Dr. Berry call it? The standard proper human
Proper
diet.
human diet.
It's a
It is.
proper human
It's
diet. That's what it is.
absolutely.
So
But
he was right
just
on.
changing up traditions,
Mhm.
Or maybe not even like adding new traditions that may add in crafts instead
Mhm.
of food. Like
Right.
alter your traditions just a little bit and make it fun.
Mhm.
Make it
We call that
appealing,
re-anchoring. Re-anchoring those
re-anchoring. Yep.
memories.
Yeah. So, if I love I'm not gonna say the client, but I love one of our clients that talked about, you know, focusing on the kids on Thanksgiving and doing
Mhm.
crafts with them instead of
Mhm.
what they would normally do.
Mhm.
And, actually getting on the floor with them and having fun
Mhm.
instead of, the normal, let's focus around food or let's
Yeah.
focus, about drinking or whatever it is
Right.
that family traditions do. But it was so focused on then getting to know the nieces and nephews
Mhm.
and just playing with them and doing crafts with them. Like it was
Yeah.
planned out that's instead of, focusing around food. And I loved
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's part of the issue when you change your health style is not even necessarily the food. It is the convenience factor. I have never been more aware of how literally lazy we are when it comes to eating and opening a package and dumping it into a bowl and the things that we don't do anymore and that we depend on convenience for. It's really
Yeah.
really really sad, and
Yeah.
that's harder to break in our clients, in people in general, than changing the food, because the food's yummy. The food is the least of our worries. It's the fact that we actually have to make it you
Yeah.
know that's the
Yep.
problem. That's the diet that we're talking about is, oh, I've got
Mhm.
to make it. I can't just open the Little Debbie's package. I can't just go through McDonald's drive-through. Like, what? Whoa. What do we do? It's
Now
convenience.
you can go
Oh
and
yeah,
support those bakeries that
absolutely.
want to do Whole Foods. You might be paying more, but the
Shout out to Baked by Vi. I don't know. That woman. I had a
that she wasn't the
really
only one I was talking about though.
but I got to talk about this situation. I what we've been a beautiful practice for 8 years. Has it been 7 years?
7, going on
Thriving
8. Yeah.
thriving coaching practice. Like,
Yes.
we overturn lives. We change lives. Well, Friday, no, it was whenever I went there. It was the day before Thanksgiving. I had a rough day. Like, I had not had a rough coaching day until that day. And I'm like, I slammed my head on my desk and said, "You are a really crappy coach, Monica. Nothing you're
Oh,
doing is making a difference. You might as well just throw in the towel."
that was a red dog talking at you.
Well, it was a big tantrum is what it was. I remember talking to you on the way to Baked by Vi's. When I walked into Baked by Vi's, I said, I need a session with you. And she took her lunch and she put special things in my cup, and we just chatted, and it was like therapy. Baked by Vi, I'm telling you, you saved my
She's
coaching
amazing.
career that day,
She's
because I was
amazing.
gonna throw it all in.
And Coach Monica for Thanksgiving purchased a delicious, dessert that was dairy free for
Dairy
me, and I
free.
hadn't had anything sweet for a really long time.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
boom, but it
Ooh.
was so good. It was so
Yes.
good.
I was gonna try it,
Anyway,
but you
I
got
ate
them
it.
all.
You're
You got them.
actually, you could have had your husband's, but he also ate it all.
He ate it all. Like,
He
I
did.
didn't even go to the
No.
refrigerator, and I'm like, "Where is all of this stuff?" I got stuck with a pumpkin streusel out of all that. It was really good.
I was gonna say, you got stuck with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the bottom line to that story is I'm gonna continue my
Yes.
coaching into 2025. I didn't quit. Oh my word. Speaking of 2025,
Yeah.
if you want to secure a coach at the price today, you want to do it before January 1st,
Yep.
because the prices will be going with the market. So you want to number one, you want to secure your coach so you have the sessions that you want,
Mhm.
because it's like tax season for a weight
It's
loss
busy.
coach, January 1st. So if you secure your season or your tickets, you can have
I
the same
mean, of
time with your coach
course.
every week for the year 2025. If you
Yeah.
wait till January 1st, you will get the leftover times that we have. So just so you
Yeah.
know, every year we go through it. Every year.
Yeah.
Now here's where our weight loss coaching January 1st happens. It's not a typical diet. schedule that we have, because we do the tough coaching. We do the stuff that actually works. So what happens is January 1st comes and people go get the pills and the potions. They're like,
Oh,
they see
yeah.
this come on their Facebook
Or
feed.
the
Take this
gym.
gummy and lose 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Go to the gym and lose 30
Yeah.
pounds. Take this shot. Well, then they take the shot and they discover, I don't have money for the second month. What am I
Or
going
the
to do?
third or the fourth.
So our busy season, just a secret, our busy season actually starts March 1st, because then the diet companies have failed. Those gummies have failed. They need about 3 weeks to catch up with their budget because they've wasted about $192. So they catch up on the $192 and then they're like, please help us. So our busiest season actually starts March 1st.
Yeah. If you find yourself being that person that is in that cycle,
Mm-hmm.
you need to come to us and we'll help you get out of that cycle.
Before you fail. Please come to us before you fail.
Yep.
We can save so much. Do you know how much money we would save? We have the worst marketing plan because we actually try to fire our clients. We get them
have
through
a
the
mission.
We
have a
on
mission to
plan.
empower people with their health.
We need to change that.
And not depend on anything else.
Yeah. The only reason why we want you coming back to us is if you come to act coach. And we've got, by the way, we have a couple of people that have emerged as coaches.
Yeah.
that we will see in 2025. But that's the only reason why we want you back. Not a great marketing plan.
No, it's not.
We would do better with the shot plan of keeping them for life.
Yep.
But we don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
It's okay though. Like, I love, like,
Yes.
I see it as a mission in life. Mm-hmm. And I remember the conversation that we had years ago of saying, Darcy, what is your passion? I don't have a passion.
Yes, you do.
I do have a passion now. Like, I'm very passionate about what I stand for and can talk to anybody about if they want to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to introduce it. I'm not going to push it on you and say, I'm not going to corner you and say, oh, you look like you need my help. I'm not going to do that.
No.
No. I did that before and that's not me.
That would backfire a little bit. Yeah.
It did. And the fact is, just over the years, getting to work with people, all the different types of personalities, like my favorite is just working with people to teach them the ways of, like, that key, that mysterious key to lifestyle that it seems like nobody really knows what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted it. I just wanted somebody to sit down with me and say, do this and you'll be thin or you'll be healthy. At the time I was focused on being thin, but now it's like, do this.
Yeah.
And it's about your metabolic health. Like, you're not going to have to depend on medications. You're not going to have to depend on the typical, oh, you're just getting older. Your body's falling apart.
The menobelly. You don't have to get a menopause belly, ladies. Come on. You don't have to.
There's ways that God created our bodies to be able to heal themselves and to manage at our age, as we get older. But no, my biggest new passion, although nobody wants to take me up on the offer, is people younger than me and my age. Like, nobody my age or younger want to take me up on this offer.
They think they're invincible at your age. I mean, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
For sure. And I ate whatever, but then, like, it started in college, y'all. Like, if somebody would have given me the sit down saying, hey, this is what's going to happen to you when you hit college, when you're not focused, when stress comes in and you hit 30 even, like, these are the things that are going to happen to you. Right. You're not invincible. You want to say that you are not going to follow the footsteps of your elders. But then when you hit that age, you do.
You do.
And if it's not 30, it's 35. If it's not 40, it might, yours might be pushed off a little bit more. But you're eventually, if you continue to be eating the way that you are eating, in the unhealthy way, it's not going to be great for you. I mean, PCOS, ladies, you don't have to deal with PCOS.
No.
Period. No pun intended.
The infertility that we're causing by what we're eating.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And you think my biggest thing though, I'm pulling out my soapbox because you invited me to. my biggest one, and I just go back to the days when I was a young mom,
Uh-huh.
and I knew that health was super important, and I wanted to change my lifestyle. I knew that being, 200, I feel like I was 200, over 220 pounds at that time, was the answer was going to Whole Foods, but the wrong Whole Foods. Like, I
Mhm.
overate quinoa, I overate beans, I overate cheese, I
Mhm.
overate honey. Like, I switched to all those natural foods,
Mhm.
but that did not help me in
Mhm.
my weight loss. Like, I was
Right.
so focused in on this, "Oh, I'm gonna eat Whole
Yeah.
Foods," but, all those fancy words,
Right.
tofu, all those things that are
Yeah.
not good for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
It's over-processed, and I hit that world, and I was like,
Yeah.
and I look back, I'm like, I
Yeah.
just needed balance.
Right.
I
Yeah.
needed to know the magic formula.
Yeah.
And it's not really
So true.
magical now that I know what it is. It's
So
just it
true.
is what it is, but
I need you to keep talking because my contractor's looking at me through the window. So
Oh,
let's keep talking about that PCOS, and I'll be right back.
okay. So, with why PCOS? We ended on that one. But to know that if I, again, would have had that key, I would have not be standing in my bathroom mirror looking at myself saying, if I could just start over again, if I could just laser all this stuff off of me and start over, and have that magic key, that would have been great. But I love the idea of being able to empower people to know the combination. And it's a simple combination. It takes a little work, and mindset, and going against the grain of what everybody else is doing. But initially, I don't have the problems that I had, or I don't have the problems that I was starting to have. I guarantee that I was pre-diabetic. I guarantee that I had insulin resistance. I guarantee that I had a potential PCOS problem. But now, like, living this lifestyle, so that's my passion. My passion is that. But again, it's very difficult to persuade anybody at the younger age, and I think that's what happens with a lot of our clients. They get to a certain part where they have tried all those things. They have tried trying to eat the natural, "Oh, God made the food, so it's gotta be good" idea. Um, and that's what we have, a lot of people that have just hit rock bottom and have experienced all those things, have done the diets, have all done the shots, have done all the pills, and none of them are sustainable. So in that breath, I don't know if Coach Monica will come back. I don't know what to do with myself, by myself. But during this group meeting yesterday, we just had a great discussion about, the tools that we provide that are bio individual tools to help you get back on track if you lost the pathway, if you kept going and you were determined. How does somebody continue on with that strength and that mindset through all of the holidays? If you felt like it was a struggle to get through Thanksgiving, and you barely made it and you were still angry, like, why do I have to change? Why do I have to eat this way to be like, look like other people, or that look super fit and, can just go work out and they're fine, or, what have you. Um, we work really hard at creating a giant toolbox that our clients can be empowered with, to know, like, okay, I'm in this situation. I'm going to have to pull this tool out of prepping for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. I'm going to have to make a list of things that, I'm going to need for this event, because, Christmas, I don't know about you, but Christmas is ridiculous in the events, the parties, the work parties, the um just galas, whatever it is, there's always something during this time. So how are we to prepare ourselves for these upcoming holidays? So I'll say one thing that we did do at group. I suggested all of our clients to write a list out of all the events that you have going on in this month. And they're very loud. She should have muted herself. I don't know how to mute them. But making a list of all those events, and then you can visually see all of the events that you will need to prepare for. So then you can just have that mindset, okay, I know that I have a work party, so I'm either and I know what maybe we're having for this, and then you ease your mind a little bit to know, like, okay, I'm gonna go into this work party prepared with, a side dish or that I can eat if it's a carry-in or if it's a catered in. If you know that there's the protein in the salad, just focus on the protein in the salad. Don't venture off into the dessert or I love the idea of this is my favorite. At dessert time, I have a cup of coffee or I hunt somebody down to put some sort of dessert coffee. It's usually black with no cream in it, but in my hand, so I know that my hands are occupied. Sorry. So, uh, we heard that whole conversation. We'll have to talk. We'll have to talk about him when she comes back and how we heard all the conversation that you just had.
Did you really? About the tub? Oh my gosh.
No, I'm
For
just
real,
kidding.
you did?
I was talking about, the things that the whole calendar thing, making a list of all the events that you have in December.
Oh.
I couldn't go very much longer about PCOS.
That's
He
hilarious.
said, "Let's talk about PCOS." So
Yeah.
that was one thing that we assigned our clients to do is to make
Yeah.
a list of all the events in December that you have and
Mhm.
listing
Prevents the
all the ways that
slingers.
the slingers, the things that you're
Mhm.
unprepared for.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
so
Yep.
we
Did you
talked
hear that
about
where the tub is coming out? A little bit sooner than what we thought. So
Oh, yeah.
if anybody has a shower we can use, we're gonna be out for about a week.
Oh, boy. Well, you got mom.
I'm
She's not very
like
far.
you know what? You do what you need to do. We are in the thick of it. We are all in at this point. So
Yep. It's fine. You're gonna have a new shower. It's
everything's
gonna be
fine.
great.
Everything's fine.
Fine.
Oh,
Oh,
so guys, you don't have to gain weight. You don't have to gain weight over the holidays. You can get ahead of the game. I saw a statistic and I went to go find her post. Christine, our friend
yeah.
Christine,
Yeah.
posted something yesterday that said the most successful weight loss programs begin in December. And I think that's true. I was trying to think, okay, why is that? Because they learn how to eat. They learn how to change their lives over real life.
Yeah.
January 1st is not real life, y'all.
It's not.
December is real life. And if you can get control over your food in December, you can get control over
And
your food
just
anytime.
think about how you're feeling in December. If you're feeling
Mhm.
anxiety,
Yeah.
you're like, "Well, why in the world would I wanna change my lifestyle when I have high anxiety
Mhm.
and all
Right.
these events that are
Right.
going on?" Well, that's when you get yourself a coach
Yeah.
that's able to tell you these tools and how to do it.
Mhm.
Is it gonna be easy? No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
But you're able to tame the tiger, I'm making this
Yeah.
up as I go, tame the
Yeah.
tiger in the middle of the jungle, like, in the open
Mhm.
space. In that moment, you're able to tame that tiger,
Yeah.
and then next year, you're gonna know what to do.
You
You're
know what
gonna
to do.
have conquered
Mhm.
that situation and not gonna have to worry. You can even pre-plan some other fun things that you wanna add to that
Imagine
holiday.
that. Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best. I laugh when I still have people, literally still have people saying, "Wow, keto doesn't work, diets don't work," and I'm like, "Yeah, what are we on year 8 now? You're right. You are so right. At what point can we say, no, you're right, it doesn't work? It works when you work it, and it works when you've had enough. You have to have enough of your
Yeah.
current lifestyle. So hey, we meet here, same time, same place, every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you message us if you want the deal of the buy one, get one free if you are a brand new client of ours. Um, Sneak in a group, see if you like it. You may decide when you get in the group, hey, I do need some one on one coaching, totally upgradable. Okay. We're here
Yep.
every Tuesday morning. Our website is kmhealthcoaching.org. And you go there, you check out, you can take a free sugar exam to see if you struggle with food addiction. You go find your coach. Coach Darcy has a page on there. I have a page on there. And so you go find your program. Now you do have to message us if you want the buy one, get one. That is something we have to put you in on the front side of things, and then we have to set it up. Okay. So, we had a podcast drop today. For real. Tuesday
Oh,
morning,
we did
6
for
a.m.
reals?
for reals, we took the week off last week.
Yay!
Yay. We had a new podcast drop this morning, and it is about how to start healthy habits. And so feel free to go check that out. Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I got a really cool microphone. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited. You'll see it next week. It's pink. Very excited.
Oh,
very excited about
nice.
That. So when we close this session, I kind of feel like we need to do the intro again. Just because we can. Hi, Clark. How are you, buddy? Oh.
He said that you've talked enough. It's time to go.
It's time to go. I have to go potty. Let's go to my schedule. So we love you guys. Let us know if we can help you. Let us know if you're struggling. We're here for you. And we're gonna do the intro on the outro because it's cute.
It's so cute.
And we can only do it 4 times. So
I know.
All right. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye.